Peppa Pig is building a house for her family. But how? She doesn't have any money to buy building materials, and she certainly isn't going to ask her rich neighbor, Candy Cat, for help. What kind of house will Peppa make? And how will it turn out in the end? Let's find out in today's episode. It was another lovely day in Peppa's world. The sun was shining through the window as she ate her breakfast. She had some toast with marmalade and drank some apple juice. Then she did something that she loved to do every morning. She gave her mother a big hug and said, "Mummy Pig, I love you." Then she went outside to play. But today was different. When she got outside, she saw her friends playing in a sand pit. They were all making sandcastles. "Hello, Peppa," said Rebecca Rabbit. "Want to make a sandcastle with us?" "So, I want to make a house," said Peppa. "How are you going to make a house out of sand?" asked Rebecca. "I don't know yet, but I'm going to try," replied Peppa. Peppa looked around for some suitable building materials, but all she could find were sticks and pebbles. Nevertheless, she decided to get started. First, she made a small square using the sticks. Then she started to fill it in with sand. It wasn't easy. She needed a lot of energy to keep filling the sand. But then she remembered what her grandfather had once told her. If you work hard at something, even if it takes a long time, the results will be worth it. So, she kept on trying. After a while, she managed to build 4 walls. Then she used more sticks to reinforce them. She built a roof too, and soon enough, she had a little sand house. It wasn't very big, but it was just right for a family of 4. Then it was time to decorate the house. Peppa found some beautiful shells on the beach. She used them as tiles for the roof. She found some smooth pebbles and arranged them on the walls like bricks. Then she collected some seaweed and hung it on the walls like curtains. Peppa also made some furniture for the house. She made a table and chairs out of driftwood. For the bed, she used a large flat stone and put some soft moss on top of it as a pillow. She used a seashell. Finally, she made a little door for the entrance. Peppa Pig was so happy with her house, she couldn't wait to show it to her family. So she shouted, "Daddy Pig, Mummy Pig, George, come and see my new house." Daddy Pig came first. He looked at the house and said, "Wow, it looks great. How did you manage to build such an amazing house all by yourself?" "I worked really hard," replied Peppa. Then Mummy Pig and George arrived. Mummy Pig was very impressed. "You've done well, Peppa. It looks cozy and welcoming," said George. "Can we live there forever?" "Of course not, silly," said Peppa. "It's just a sandcastle. It'll be gone with the next high tide." George looked very disappointed, but then he cheered up when he saw some crabs near the house. "Look, crabs," he exclaimed. "They're going to protect our house from the waves." But then suddenly, who should appear but Candy Cat? She walked up to Peppa and said in her usual arrogant manner, Well, what do we have here?" "A poor imitation of my luxurious beach house." Peppa felt tears coming to her eyes, but she tried her best to hold them back. She didn't want to let Candy Cat see that she was upset. "This is my house," said Peppa. "And I built it all by myself." "All by yourself," sneered Candy Cat. "That sounds pathetic. Why don't you just come and live in my house? It's much bigger and much nicer than yours." Before Peppa could reply, her father stepped in. "We don't want to live in your house, thank you very much. We prefer to live in a house that we've built ourselves." This made Candy Cat very angry. She wanted to say something rude, but before she could, Daddy Pig continued, "Your house might be big, but it is empty. And no one wants to live there, because you are too mean and selfish. This made Candy Cat even angrier. But she knew that what Daddy Pig had said was true. No one wanted to be her friend, because she always boasted about how rich she was. And now no one wanted to live in her house. She looked at Peppa's house and realized that although it was small, it looked cozy and welcoming. She wished that she could do something similar. But she knew that she was incapable of doing anything without the help of her maid or gardener. "Humph," she said, and turned around to go home. But as she walked away, she slipped on something and fell. She landed right in the sand. "Oh, this is awful," she cried. "I'm covered in sand." Suddenly, she saw Peppa running towards her. "Are you all right, Candy Cat?" she asked. "I think I need some water," said Candy Cat. Peppa ran to the sea and filled her watering can, and then poured the water over Candy Cat. Then she helped her to brush the sand off her fur. "Thank you, Peppa," said Candy Cat. "I'm sorry for being mean to you and your family. Your house might be small, but it looks cozy and nice. Maybe I could ask you for some tips on how to decorate mine." Peppa smiled. She was very pleased that they had become friends. "Of course, I can help you, Candy Cat." "I'd love to." The two pigs and the cat were soon decorating the beach house together. Peppa suggested some nice patterns to paint on the walls, and Candy Cat showed them how to arrange the furniture. In no time at all, the house looked like a real home. Then they heard some applause. It was Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig and George. They were very pleased with how the house looked. "Well done, everyone," said Daddy Pig. "We're going to have a wonderful holiday here." When the sun began to set, they all sat down together to eat some sardines that Candy Cat had brought with her. Then they sang some songs and told each other jokes. Soon, it was time for bed. Peppa and her family slept in the little sand house, and Candy Cat slept in her big beach house. But neither of them felt cold, because they were both surrounded by friends. In the morning, Peppa woke up early and went outside to play. She looked at the sea and thought about how lucky she was to have such wonderful friends. She knew that no matter what happened, she would always have them, and that's all that mattered. That's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed watching it, please give us a like and subscribe. Until next time.